What's good, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sully's Mistake Factory. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below to stay up to date on all of our cool projects. What are we talking about today, guys? Well, today we are talking about the actual solar install on board the boat. If you recall in that last episode, guys, we went ahead and we got the inverter installed and we got the charge controller installed. So now we're out of the boat, we are on the hardtop, and we are going to dig in on the Xantrex solar panel install now. So, how did we get to this point, guys? If you see, I am actually standing on some greenish colored substrate on the hardtop right now. This is actually G10. And what I did was, when I left the boat, before I left the boat last time, I went ahead and I templated out the entire hardtop space so that I could go into my garage and get this stuff cut down to size and also lay out where our solar panels are all going to fit given the space that we have. So now that I know what it was and I knew the size of my solar panels, I can kind of start manipulating it around and actually seeing how this is all going to come together. So we've got now this G10. This is a UV stable substrate. I have a couple of different plans in mind here. I don't know whether I'm going to paint it, whether I'm going to put some vinyl wrap on it on the edges that are exposed to the sun, just to kind of get it a little longer life without it, yellowing out on us. But we're going to get into that. The other reason we are doing this substrate, guys, is, as I mentioned before, this hardtop needs some love. And I want to be able to go ahead and pull these panels off, do my repairs on here, and then still reuse these panels. Now, because the panels that we are using are peel and stick panels, I could risk some damage trying to pull them off, and then how am I going to re-adhere them? So that is why we are going with this substrate. I can take this substrate and then I can adhere this down to the deck with adhesive, pull it off, and still now have a nice fiberglass to work with to clean it off and then reapply back down in a year or two when I dig in on the hard top here. So that is why we're doing this. If you've got a newer boat, maybe you've got more space, maybe your hard top isn't as worked over as this one is, you can just do peel and stick and skip this step. But this is just a very easy, doesn't have a lot of weight to it, and we can add it to the mix. Now, when we're talking about our solar panels, guys, I've got one of them up here just to kind of give you an idea of the size we are working with. This is a 165 watt panel. So you can see, depending on what 7-Eleven or convenience store I'm walking out of, I'm about 5'10". So you can see this is a pretty good size panel right here, and we're going to be doing 4 of these. If you look on the back, like we talked about, guys, these are simply peel and stick. We just peel this off of here and slap it down. So we've got 4 of these to install back here, and we're going to get after doing that install as well. But before we actually install this, we need to get this prepped. So let's get after getting this set up so that we can stick this stuff down. So one of the items that we did need to tackle before we can go ahead and stick down our G10 was the old hardtop hardware. Now, some of that hardware that was on here was through bolted from the bottom stanchion up, and then there was an acorn nut on top of it. Our solar panels are going to land directly on top of that, and that's just not going to fly, obviously. And we don't want to go up and over and have some weird shapes and things like that. So what did we do, guys? We went ahead and drilled out with a Forstner bit. We went a little bit wider, drilled out that about a ½ inch top of it there. And then we went, after we got that all drilled out, then we went ahead with the West System 610. It's kind of my go-to. It's really easy to use, comes right out of the tube, pre-mixed. It's thickened epoxy and gives us a really nice, clean spot to work from. So as you take a look here, after we got it all drilled out and filled, now we have that right there. Now, if I really wanted to get all nice with that thing, what I would do next is I'd sand that all down. But that's getting covered by the G10. So it doesn't matter. Cosmetics don't matter on it. We can go ahead and we can cover that thing right up with the panel, and then we can drive our new fastener up from the bottom. Since we've drilled that hole out and filled it with West System, I can now go up with a self-tapper in there to secure this hardtop down and not have any fasteners sticking up. So that is tackled there. And then we need to go ahead and start cleaning up this hardtop. You can see it's very dirty, very dingy. I don't see in my hands, but it's actually pretty white and chalky. Now, nothing will stick to this if it's that dirty. So we're gonna go ahead and get some Prep Solve, wipe this whole thing all down, and get it ready so that we can then go ahead and adhere our panels down. So let's go ahead, let's get after wiping this all down, getting this all prepped out, and let's see if we can get this first panel down and secured. Now that we've got everything wiped down and cleaned off and ready, we can go ahead and start marking off where this is going to actually land to make sure we are putting down our sealant in the right places. So to do that, we're just gonna grab the panel, go ahead and bring it on over, set it back in place like we've already measured it for, make sure it's all good. And again, this thing's got a nice kind of curvature to the hardtop, and this is fitting to it very, very nicely. So go ahead, we get that marked off, put in place, and then all I'm going to do is take this little bit of piece of tape right here and run an edge right along there, so on that edge we'll know where it's going to fall, so that way I can go ahead and make sure we're getting all of our sealant in the right place. So let's go ahead and get that taken care of. Now we go ahead, we can pull that off of there, and we've got a nice taped boundary to work with. So now I can go down and I'm going to go grab the Sikaflex that we're going to be using on this. I've got it, it's still a little chilly, so I've actually got that sitting in front of the heater so that will go ahead and come out nice and clean. So I'm going to go grab that, and then we'll go ahead, we'll get this all caulked up, do a little time lapse of that, and then we'll put this back in place and keep rocking and rolling, guys. Now that we've gone ahead, we've got that all laid out with the Sikaflex. And again, guys, it doesn't take much because this is just holding it in place. We're trying to keep water from getting underneath it. So I will make sure we've got a really nice barrier all the way around. And then we just kind of filled in the middle, and then I'll go ahead, we'll put it on, I'll step on it, it'll splooge it all out, we'll clean it all up. Also, one of the things I kind of skipped a step on, guys, I've gone ahead, and because this is actually a little bit bigger than the panels themselves, I've taken some black vinyl wrap right here, guys, and what I've done is I've gone ahead and just basically cut it to size. It's going to cover up those edges and should hopefully make a nice seamless look between the black of the solar panels and the edges here going over to the white, just keeping things clean. Will it work? I don't know, but we're gonna give it a shot here, see how it turns out. So I've got this one down. We're gonna go ahead, get this in place. We'll go ahead, get this thing all cleaned up and down. And then we're gonna repeat this process 3 more times here between getting this one down, then we gotta get the one on this space, and then these 2 over here. So we'll get those all down, time lapse this all up, we'll get this rocking and rolling. And next step after that, we should be getting to putting panels down, hopefully. So get after it. So now we have all of these panels bedded down. The next step here is to go ahead and get our peel and stick panels on here. Now, like I said in the intro, guys, these are peel and stick, and these are kind of big. These are the 165 watt ones from Xantrex, and something we need to be mindful of as we're getting ready to mount these and make these in places, where this wire is coming out right here. We need to be mindful of that when we are doing it. We want to make sure that the wires are actually going outboard here, and we're going to route them out and around. We don't want them coming down the center. So we want to be mindful of that as we're getting ready to stick this. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and peel this back just a little bit and get this lined up in place. We do need to make sure that this is lining up right there. This is kind of a one-shot process on this one, guys. So we're gonna go ahead, get this rolling, and get this lined up here. Kind of work around. Again, it's kind of nice that these are flexible in that respect, we can kind of work with it and make sure we're in good shape. So we go ahead, we peel back that plastic, we peel back that wrapper. You kind of see it does just want to kind of stick to itself. Those peeled back there. The key for us here, obviously, guys, is I've made these panels to kind of line it up. And obviously, before we mount these, I've already done it, you haven't seen it, but I already wiped this whole area down to make sure that we have good, clean surface adhesion. So then we just take this guy right here and line him up on the edge, line him up right there. And then we're gonna walk it on down here. Just gotta make sure we're getting it exactly as we want it. Just like that. Our first panel is down. Pretty stinking easy. So now that I have this one down, we can cut to the time lapse. I'll bring up the other 3 panels and start getting those installed here. Let's get after it. So we were running out of daylight, guys, but we did manage to get all 4 of the panels installed on the hardtop. You can see it's a new day. We got some light behind us here. We are ready to rock and roll into the wiring phase now of this. Now, we've talked about, power output of these panels and how we're installing them and all that. What I haven't touched on are the different ways that you can connect all of these. You can run all 4 panels independently down to a single block and get it that way. You can connect them together. You can make them all one. There's a whole bunch of different ways to do this. What I am choosing to do is called series parallel. Now, as that kind of name implies, we're going to put 2 of them in series. Now we have 2 groups, and then we're going to parallel them together at one point. Now, the reason for doing this is a multitude of them, and I'm going to kind of touch on some of the highlights here and have to probably refer to a couple of my notes to make sure I'm hitting the numbers right. But each one of these panels is 19 volts DC and about 8 amps of output, give or take, somewhere around in there. So then we can combine those together. We're going to be sitting at, 38.6 volts and 17 amps. That's when we combine them together. Now, at first look, guys, you're like, well, wait a minute, Sully. You said we're going to be getting 40 to 50 amps of power out of this. Remember, we haven't done the math yet, guys. This is still hanging out at 36 volts. It needs to go through the charge controller and be stepped down to 12 volt. Now, obviously, that charge controller is not 100% efficient. Very few things in life are 100% efficient. But it is highly efficient. And it does step it down and then bring the amperage back up on the other side. So if we do 2 sets of series, we bring them together in parallel down into the charge controller itself, we are now looking at 39 volts, and we're going to be looking at about, 17 amps here, I think is what it was, and 660 watts. Sorry, I've got to look at my notes here, guys. And now, when we take that and step that down to 12 volts output out of that charge controller, we are now suddenly looking at almost 54 amps of output. Well within the range of that charge controller, because it can handle up to 60 amps. And we're still going to be having the ability to run a smaller wire, because as that voltage goes up and the amperage stays the same, we can actually run a smaller wire due to ABYC standards, Ohm's law, all that good stuff, which I'm not going to bore you with. So we've got that going on. So now we should, in theory, with that put together in series parallel, we should be between 45, 54 for kind of a peak output. Now, these panels aren't up at an angle or anything like that. You saw they are flat, they are on a hard top. It is going to be partially shaded, and that is the other reason we chose to go with series parallel. If maybe, say, the forward section of these panels gets shaded, it doesn't take it out. We still have the voltage and amperage coming from that back pair still feeding down. We're still going to get a really good, clean input of power. Maybe not as much, but it's still going to allow that. Now, how do we connect and make sure that these are in series and parallel? Well, it's very simple, guys. We're going to take the positive from panel 1, the negative from panel 2. We're simply going to connect them together. It's actually pretty easy because these guys all come with really good, solid, rugged, waterproof connections. Obviously, it's the same cable, but you can see they just come in and they lock in. And now we've got a good waterproof connection. We'll just zip tie these things down on the deck. So that is what we're going to do. And then you would take the panel 1, panel 2, the two that aren't being used, the positive and negative from those, and those are the wires that you're going to run forward in this case. And then we're going to do the exact same on the other side, connect it that way, run those wires forward, and those two wires are going to meet at a 60 amp breaker because we need to make sure we have proper fuse protection on here, and that is going to feed down to our charge controller. So hopefully I haven't lost you along the way here. But now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start making these connections, show you how that all works, and start getting this brought together. I've already run a good chunk of the wires. It was getting late last night, but footage wasn't that great of pulling wires in the dark. So trust me, guys, wires are pulled, and we're going to start making some connections. So like I say, let's get after it. So now let's go ahead and make our connections. As we can take a look on the panel here, I don't know how good it's going to show up in the lighting, but we have our positive and our negative. It's very clearly actually marked on there. So we've got our negative from this panel, we've got our positive from this panel, and we are bringing them together. But you guys see there's a bunch of wire in there along with our waterproof connection right there. So you could do that, tidy that all up as best you can, zip tie it up, keep it clean. But just aesthetically in my eyes, I don't like the look of it. So I'm going to go ahead and shorten that wire up and get rid of the excess wire that is in there. You don't have to do this step, guys, but it just makes it for a cleaner install, I feel personally. Again, I'm not going to cut it just exactly the length. I am going to give myself some slack in case we need to wiggle room around, change something out, or shorten something up down the road, or do whatever, trying to somewhat not screw myself down the road, but go ahead and make that look a little bit cleaner. So once we have that connection made, then we can run our wires forward, and they're going to come around the corner. And you can see we've already kind of got the wire pulled right there. I've got these C-View cable seals. They were nice enough to send me a pair for this project, so thank you, C-View, for that. We're going to go ahead and get those installed, giving us a nice watertight seal for where the cable is going to be going through the hardtop. So now, guys, let's get after it. Let's cut these cables and get this thing all ready to go and see how we make out. So now that we've gone ahead, we've got the wire shortened up and our connection is made here. So we've got our nice waterproof locked in seal. We need to start looking at the wire run going forward here, and we need to take into consideration on these cables. We don't want to bend these cables over too sharply when they're coming out of these exits. We want to give them nice gradual radiuses on there so that we are not pinching the wire and putting kinks into it and things like that. Even though this is electricity, not fluid, we still don't want to have those tight radiuses and putting an undue stress onto these cables. So into that end, we're going to do something here with these saddles right here for the zip ties. Now, we could do something like a weld mount, but given it's worked over as this gel coat is, I don't know how long that adhesion would last. Like, I don't even know if it'd last more than a season or two, guys. And I know I want to get after repairing this hardtop, but I don't want to be working on it midway through the year or having wires come loose and things like that. So these clamps right here, they are a screw-in style clamp. and we are going to be going ahead and drilling some holes. And then what we'll do is we'll just put a little sealant on each screw. Let's not allow more water in here and make things exacerbated and worse. So once we get those all done, we'll get that cable run all the way forward where it's going to make the drop down through the hardtop. And that is where our C-view cable gland is going to come into play. We're going to put both of the cables in there, drop it down, and we should be good on this side. And we're going to rinse, lather, repeat on the other side and do the exact same thing all over again, connect them all up, make our waterproof connections, and get those up to our circuit breaker up front. So, you know the deal. Let's get after it. Now with the cable management done and all the wires all nicely dressed, everything is run up forward. Like I said, guys, I've already pre-wired everything else. That was just pulling wires through the boat. Not really much to show on video for that. But we've got the pre-wire done, so now that's gone all the way up to the circuit breaker there, and then it's gone down to our MPPT. And we've got that all nicely dressed. What I'm not sure of, guys, is if I am going to keep the cable management the way that it is, or maybe try and find a really nice trough to put that in that's white and kind of low profile and maybe clean it up a little bit so it's a little easier on the eyes. But what I do know is that it's good for right now and we are good to go. Now, one of the things you guys might have noticed while I've been working on these solar panels here is that I have put down white foam. Now, this foam right here, guys, this actually came with the solar panels themselves in the packaging so they don't get damaged during shipping. But what do they make? They make it really nice to be able to sit and work on these panels and not blow out your knees and your feet and your back and everything. And it also protects the panels when you're dragging your tools around. And most importantly, guys, you need to remember these solar panels are live. Even though I am in a building, there are skylights. We could get some sun in here. Not right now, but we could. These panels are then live, and we now have live voltage going down the line. So we want to make sure we keep them covered until we get everything into the circuit breakers and everything dressed and ready and house batteries installed and all of that. So that is why I keep that foam cover on there. It's twofold. Just easier on me, and B, let's keep those things offline until we're ready to bring them online on our time, on our choice, not when Mother Nature decides to do it. So that is this week's Sully's Mistake Factory. A huge thank you to Xantrex for this, as well as C-View for the deck glands and getting this all rocking and rolling and helping this all come together. If you have any questions about the solar panel install or anything we've covered yet up to this point, leave it down below in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer those for you. I think next week we are either doing house batteries or bringing the network together. Probably going to make more sense to do the house batteries, so that way we can have everything online and then bring the network online and then show you all the good stuff. However, I'm also really busy with like my real daytime job and schedule of things. So I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure that that's out and available for you next week. There might be a 1 week lag here, but I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure we keep feeding the content machine for you. So if you have any questions, leave it down below. Hit that like and subscribe, share button and all that good stuff. And we will see you in a week, maybe two, on Sully's Mistake Factory. Peace.